Okay, please, Pradeep, joining us from the University of Delhi. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor, for a nice introduction. My name is Pradeep Kumar Sharma, and I am working as a postdoc fellow in the Department of Mathematics at University of Delhi, India. And I will present today semi-continuity of the solution maps of set-valued equilibrium problems with equilibrium constants, and this is the joint work with my PhD supervisor, Professor Kamrul Hasan Ansari from India. Okay, so the outline of today's presentation is as follows. First, I will discuss the set-valued equilibrium problems with equilibrium constants, which has many applications in different areas of pure and applied mathematics. After that, I will introduce some new notions of convexity for set-valued maps, which will be used to study the semi-continuity of set-valued equilibrium problems, that is equilibrium problems defined by using the set-valued maps. And using these notions of generalized convexity, we will obtain the semi-continuity of solution maps of set-valued equilibrium problems with equilibrium constant. And finally, I will present an application of the obtained result to the multi-criteria traffic network equilibrium problems. So my work is basically motivated by the paper published in Optimization in 2021, that is semi-continuity of the solution maps to vector equilibrium problems with equilibrium constants. Okay, and the another paper in which Kapoor and Lalita has studied the stability in unified semi-infinite vector optimization problem, which is published in Journal of Global Optimization. So these two papers are the main motivation to study this kind of semi-continuity notion, which generalize or improve the results available in the literature. So in whole of the presentation, I will assume that X and Y are Hausdorff real topological vector space, and Py denotes the collection of all subsets of Y which has non-empty values, and this denotes the interior of A, and A bar denotes the closure of the set A. We already know that every convex cone C in a vector space always induces a pre-order on Y in such a way that X is less than equals to Y if and only if Y minus X belongs to C for all X and Y in Y. If the convex cone C has non-empty interior, then X is strictly less than Y if and only if Y minus X belongs to interior of C for every element X and Y in Y. We can see that if we consider the cone C as the pointed cone, then this ordering will be the partial ordering on Y, that is reflexive, transitive, and antisymmetric on Y. So in this figure, we can see that if there are two elements X and Y, then we can see that the element Y belongs to X minus C, which is this region. So here we can see that X and Y are related by the ordering induced by the convex cone C. Now the sum of two sets in a vector space can be defined as the collection of all elements from set A and element from set B. Also, the scalar multiplication of a set by a scalar lambda is the collection of all elements, which is a scalar multiplication by lambda of the set A. And we can find many application of the Minkowski sum in the computer-aided design and manufacturing, robot motion planning, and morphological image analysis. In the following figure, we can see that this is the set A and this is the set B, and we can find that this red region is the sum of two sets A and B. Here we can see that if we consider a vector this and this vector, then the sum of this vector will be this vector. Okay, so in a similar we can find each vector, this one, and this one. So the sum of this and this will be the red colored figure. Now we recall the notion of upper set order relations to consider the notion of equilibrium problem in terms of set order relation. Okay, so the upper set order relation is defined as A is less than or equal to B if and only if A is a subset of B minus C. The meaning of this is that for every element A in A, we can find an element B in B such that A belongs to B minus C for all B in B. In a similar way, we can define the notion of weak upper set order relation by using the interior of the cone C, which is non-empty when we define the weak upper set order relation. In this figure, we can see that the set A is, this set is the set B minus C. So we can see that A is a subset of B minus C. This means that A and B are related by the upper set order relation. Or in this figure, A and B are also related by the weak upper set order relation. It is very easy to see that the upper set order relation is reflexive and transitive, but not anti-symmetric. Also, the negation of these relations can be defined in this way. Now we are ready to recall the weak set valued equilibrium problem. I have considered only weak set valued equilibrium problem in this presentation because all notions or results can be done for strong set valued equilibrium problem in a similar way. So for this we assume W and Z as the Hausdorff real topological vector space, and A and omega VA, lambda VA, non-empty subsets of X and W respectively. And we consider C and D as proper convex cone in Y and Z, okay, with non-empty interiors. And F and G are set valued maps defined on this product set to Y and Z respectively. Then weak set valued equilibrium problem is defined as find an X bar in this solution set such that G is not strictly less than the vector 0 in Z. Okay, for every element Y in this set. Okay, where this set SUW is defined as the collection of all elements in A such that F is not related to strictly Y, 0 vector for all Y in A. So basically here we have included some equilibrium constant SUW to define the weak equilibrium problem. And the solution of the problem 1 is denoted by S, basically this star is U, SUW lambda. Now, as we know that these kind of problems has many applications from differential equation to applied mathematics or in various areas of pure mathematics. For detailed study on vector valued equilibrium problem or set valued equilibrium problem, we can refer the following book, Vector Variation Inequality and Vector Optimization, where where the previous literature can be found in this book. Now we recall the level sets of F for level sets of a set valued map. So the upper level set of a set valued map with respect to some set V is defined as in this way, and the lower level sets are defined in this way, which play main role to establish the semi-continuity of weak set valued equilibrium problems. First, we recall the notion of convexities for set valued map. So a set valued map F is said to be U type C convex on A if for every x1 and x2 in A and T in closed interval 0, 1, we have this relationship. And in a similar way, we can define the notion of U type strictly C convex on A by using the weak upper set order relation. Okay. And the U type C quasi-convex on A can be defined by using the upper order relation in this way. That is, f of x1 is less than equals to f of xt, which is the line segment between x1 and x2, or f of x2 will be related to f of xt, where this is the line segment between x1 and x2 by the upper set order relation. If we replace this upper set order relation by weak upper set order relation, and T is in open interval 0, 1, then this notion will reduce to U type strictly C quasi-convex on A. Now we can, in the following example, we can see that U type C concavity does not implies U type C quasi-convexity. For this example, we have defined the set valued map in this way. Then we can see that F is U type C concave on A, but F is not U type C quasi-convex on A, because this if we consider x1 0 and x2 equals to 1 and T as 1 by 2, then we can see that the conditions of U type C quasi-convex on A will not satisfy. Also, U type strictly C quasi-concavity does not imply U type strictly C quasi-concavity. So if we consider the set valued map F in this way, then we can see that F is U type strictly C concave on A, but F is not U type strictly C quasi-convex concave on A. And it is very well known that for real valued function, the notion of quasi-concavity is weaker than the concavity, in sense that every concave function is quasi-concave. However, for vector valued function, this is only true when Y is the union of the cone C with its negative. Now we introduce the notion of level concavity for set valued map. So a set valued map is known as the level concave on A if for any two element x1 and x2 in A which are different from each other and T is in open interval 0, 1, then this should satisfy this condition. Also, another kind of level concavity is defined as if the set V and the set valued map F satisfies this kind of condition. And these notions are new. Now we obtain the relationships of these notions with the previous notions of convexity. So we can see that if F is U type strictly C quasi-concave on A, then F is level concave on A for all V in power set of Y. Further, if F is U type strictly C quasi-concave on A, then F is this kind of level concave on A. Also, if F is U type C concave on A, then we can see that F is this kind of level concave for all convex subset of V in power set of Y. Now we can see that this result holds for U strictly convex concave and U strictly C quasi-concave. But here we can see that the result does not hold for F is when F is U type strictly C concave. So we can see with the help of example that the strictly U type C quasi-concavity cannot be replaced by the U type C quasi-concavity. So if we consider the set valued map F in this way, then we can find that F is U type C quasi-concave on A, but F is not this kind of level concave on A. Okay. By considering the set V as the rectangle from 0 to 1 by 2. Also, we can see that if F is U type C quasi-concave on A, then this level set is convex for all on A for every element V of the power set Y. If F is U type C concave on A, then this kind of level set is convex for all convex subsets in power set of Y. And if F is U type C concave on A, then this kind of level set is convex on A for all V in power set of Y. Okay. Now in this example, we can see that the U type C concavity in the proposition cannot be replaced by the U type C concavity. So if we consider the set valued map F in this way, then we can see that F is U type C concave on A, but the concavity of this kind of level set fails to hold. Now we are ready to present the semi-continuity result for the first for the constant mapping for the weak set valued equilibrium problems. So we can see that if we consider this kind of level set of F on A as convex set, then we will find that the constant set map SUW is a convex set. Also, if we consider this kind of level set as closed on A cross lambda naught, then the solution map, that is the constant set valued map SUW, is upper semi-continuous at lambda naught. Also, the value of SUW at lambda naught is compact. Now we consider an example to show that the convexity of level set cannot be dropped. So if we define the set valued map in this form, then we will obtain the value of the constant set valued map at lambda is this, and we can see that this is not a convex. This is not convex because we can find some points in A with lambda equals to 0 such that this level map is not convex on A. So in this figure, we can see that this is the this represents the continuity of the constant map, and here we can see that these two values does not lie in the minus interior of C. Okay, and this region lies in the minus of interior of C. So this evaluates the level convexity of the set valued map F at lambda equals to 0. Also, we can see that closeness of this level map cannot be dropped. If we define set valued map in this way, then we will obtain the value of the solution set of the constant map as this, and we can see that this map is not upper semi-continuous. The reason is that this level set is not closed. If we consider a sequence xn 0 and yn in this way and lambda n in this way, then we can see that this is not related to 0, but this related to 0. This means that the sequence lies in the constant set value map, but it converges. The point it converges does not lie in that set. Now, if the label set is closed on this product set and f is label concave on A in the first variable, then we can see that the solution map is lower semi-continuous at lambda naught. We can see that the label concavity cannot be dropped in this result, and if we consider set value map in this way, then we can obtain the value of the constant set value map in this one, and we can see that this is not lower semi-continuous because the label set is not f is not label concave on A. In this figure, we can see that this figure represents the lower semi-continuity of the set valued map, the constant set valued map, and this figure represents the values of the function defined in the illustration of the label convexity of f. Now we can under the assumptions of the upper semi-continuity, lower semi-continuity, and convexity, we can obtain the semi-continuity of the constant set valued map, and also we can see that under these four assumptions, the constant set valued map is compact convex subset of A. Now, many authors have studied semi-continuity for the equilibrium problems, but our results extends and generalize the previous notions. Also, we do not use any kind of monotonicity assumptions. So our results are different and not comparable to some of the papers. Now we can use obtain the lower semi-continuity, upper semi-continuity of the solution maps. So if in addition to assumptions of the previous theorem, we assume that label set of G is closed on this set, then the solution map of the weak set valued equilibrium problem will be upper semi-continuous and also compact, okay, at lambda naught. And if we assume label set of G is closed on this product set and Z is label concave on A for every element Y in A, then the solution map will be lower semi-continuous at lambda naught. And using these two results, we can easily obtain the semi-continuity of the solution map. Now we give the application of the traffic network equilibrium problem. So we consider omega as a traffic network where n is the set of nodes and epsilon is the set of arc. W is the set of origin destination pair, and W is the non-negative demand flow, and PW is the set of paths. So for each P in PW, we can define HP as the traffic flow on the path P, and HPA vector where M is defined as the summation of modulus of PW. In whole of the presentation, we will assume DW as the fixed for each OD pair. Okay, and the set of feasible flows is defined as in this way, and we can easily say that this is a closed convex set for each H. Now a path flow vector H can be determined the value of the arc flow VE on each arc E, which is given by VE is as defined in this way, where delta PE is have the value 1 when arc E belongs to the path P and 0 otherwise. And we assume that GEH is the multi-criteria const function on arc E defined with the help of some mapping G from the space of flows into RL, and where GIH are the vector valued functions. Also, FPH is a vector valued cost function along the path P. Then we can compute that FPH is defined as the summation over any arc E such that delta PE GEH. Now, if feasible flow vector H is a weak equilibrium, if FQH is less than equals to FPH, implies HP equals to 0. And this is the strict ordering, which is defined as the weak upper set order relation. Now, if flow is known as the weak equilibrium, if this condition holds, where TPH is defined in this way. Now, HU is denotes the set of all feasible flow vectors, and T is the collection of all traffic network equilibrium problems, TP. So now we are ready to provide the application of our results to traffic network equilibrium problems. So if we assume that the map G is continuous for any W in W, and for P, any path P in PW, the map, this map is monotone on H and U-type 0 concave on E, then we can see that the map HU is continuous at TP. Okay, so this is the application of our result to multi-criteria traffic network equilibrium problem. These are some references. And
thank you very much, Pradeep, for this very nice presentation. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, I have possibly a naive one, is with regard to this U-type concavity. Is there some form of separation theorems for this kind of generalized convexity?
Okay, can you repeat your question?
Is there some kind of separation results for U-type concavity, just like in classical convexity?
Yeah, no. Basically, if we consider this kind of convexity, I will take. Yes, if we consider this kind of convexity, concavity or convexity, then we can use some kind of separation results. But if we consider this kind of concavity, level concavity, then there is no separation results because these notions are still new. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So any other question?
Doesn't look like there are any other questions. So please join me with thanking Pradeep for this very nice presentation.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor, and thank you very much for the organizing committee to give me a chance and organizing very nice workshop.